Hola, mis amigos. I'm here with my friend,
Sabrina.
and she's going to be sharing her journey with Spanish and language overall. So, Sabrina, please tell me, where are you from and what is your native language?
Well, I am from America. My family was in the military, so every 3 or 4 years we moved wherever, different places around the world, and my native language, English.
Very nice. Okay. And what other countries have you been in?
Before living in America, I lived in Japan, and I was actually born in England.
In England. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you learn any Japanese at all?
I knew a little Japanese, Scotch Japanese, but
What kind of Japanese?
That means a little in Japanese.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there you go.
What was that again?
Scotch.
Scotch. Oh, okay. Very nice.
Yeah, I actually learned one line in Japanese, and in living in Japan, I never got to use the line, and it was "Eigo no menu wa arimasu ka?" which means "Do you have an English menu?" And the one time I thought I got to use it, they handed us Japanese menus, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is my chance!" And the guy flipped it over, and it was in English, so I was really sad about that. But yes, that's all I know really.
And let's see, do you have any family members that speak any other languages besides English?
No. All of my family actually speaks English.
They speak English? Okay.
Yes.
Are you currently learning Japanese right now?
I am not. When I lived there, I was going to take a couple classes and actually have that as my secondary language for school. But I found out it most likely wouldn't translate, and those credits would just be for naught. So I took Spanish, but I learned very little.
Oh, okay. How many classes of Spanish did you take?
Spanish 1 and 2.
Spanish 1 and 2?
Yes.
Oh, okay. When was that?
That was a very long time ago.
Okay.
Back when I was in high school.
And was that by choice, or were you obligated to take that class?
Yes.
Spanish class?
Yeah, we were required to take a secondary language. So
Okay.
that was my selection.
So why did you learn Spanish then? Or why did you decide to take a Spanish class?
Spanish at the time was the language that would most likely translate to anywhere. Wherever I was to move next, since we were living in Japan, we didn't know where we were going. So if it was to France, that was on the list. France or back to Texas.
And who taught this Spanish class? Was it a Japan native, or was it an actual Spanish speaker from a Spanish-speaking country?
So it was not a Spanish-speaking individual. It was someone from the States who had learned Spanish and then went overseas to us with the military, and they were teaching it.
Okay,
I do know like the Japanese instructors, they were all, of course, from that native country. But my Spanish teacher, no. She was from America.
Okay, very nice. And then since then, have you taken any Spanish classes?
I have. And it was a struggle, even still, even having that small foundation. I struggled with Spanish a very long time. So I've been practicing and I want to learn.
What do you find difficult about learning Spanish?
Just hearing the different pronunciations of words, or even for me, I remember when I lived in Japan, there was this horrible experience in class, and the lady was trying to get me to say the inflections, and it was just bad. It was very bad, and I embarrassed myself. But yeah, just hearing where you're supposed to put the accent is hard for me.
The accent? Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That definitely is difficult.
Yeah.
And do you still struggle with those same things even today, or have things a little better? No, the same.
Not much better. I'm still working on this challenge. So.
And how are you learning Spanish right now?
Right now, I am just trying to speak it as much as possible, talking to people who are fluent in Spanish, or even receiving text messages from people in Spanish, and just repetition.
And with the Spanish speakers that you meet right now and you talk with, where have you met them?
I would say when I go out to learn how to dance. So I recently decided I would learn to Salsa and Bachata. And yeah, so that's where I meet the majority of the Spanish speakers that I talk to.
Have you been able to learn Spanish through dance at all?
Oh yes. Yeah, I find when I go to certain classes, the instructor will often use both English and Spanish, but the majority of the commands or the cues are in Spanish. And I've definitely picked up on a few things just because they'll say it and they won't say it in English. But yes, they definitely say it in both Spanish and English. And so there are some things that I've learned just from going to those classes.
Very nice. And what style of dance is your favorite right now?
My absolute favorite is bachata. Bachata
Bachata?
is my heart, yes.
Okay. Why do you like bachata so much?
It just is, it's passion in motion, and I love it.
Passion? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
passion,
good.
emotion. I never heard that before.
Oh, I just made it up, but that's it. I always say it's so passionate. Like I love
Passionate.
it. Yeah, it's just passionate.
And has learning about Spanish culture at all changed your life in any way?
I have always just had a love for different cultures. Growing up as a military child, I was very blessed to see different places, and that was my favorite part, to go to a completely different environment or just gain an appreciation for people who are completely different than myself. I always found that really awesome.
And do you see a lot of similarities within or between the culture that you grew up in and Spanish culture?
I'd say that Spanish culture is very warm and inviting and very family centered, and I definitely feel like growing up, that's what I grew up around, and so it kind of drew me to it as well, and I'd say yes.
Wow. Okay. And have you had any real cultural shock moments or culture shock moments when you have, been around a lot of Spanish speakers and been around Spanish culture?
I would actually say no. I don't think I have.
Would you tell other people to learn Spanish? And if you do, why?
I would say yes. Yeah, for me, Spanish has been a journey. It's something new that I'm learning, but many times when I tell people that I'm trying to learn Spanish or that's one thing that I'm really working on, they're very encouraging. It's a warm interaction, and it has just been a really good experience for me. So yes, I would say it's a good challenge for anyone who's wanting to do that.
Yes, it is definitely a big challenge to say the least. Very, very hard.
Yes.
Do you think learning Spanish culture is very important when it comes to learning the Spanish language?
Yes, I'd say I've definitely gotten a stronger appreciation for the language with the culture attached to it.
Wow. Do you think dancing to la salsa and la bachata is a really good way for a Spanish learner to learn Spanish?
Oh yes. Yeah, I find myself, the songs that I'm really drawn to or that I really love to listen to, if I don't know what it means, I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna find out what am I singing about, and I've learned some Spanish just from my favorite song being the title or the words or lyrics in the song.
Okay, I've definitely seen you sing a few songs while you've been dancing before. And I was like,
Yes.
oh, you know all the lyrics? Okay, how many songs do you know? Do you know like any songs 100% all the way through?
There are a handful that I could really keep up with, yeah.
Are you more familiar with one specific accent from a particular Spanish-speaking country?
I'd say just living in Texas, most often individuals who are from Mexico, I can more easily understand than if they're from further away, like Spain or different countries.
Okay. And have you had a lot of contact with these Spanish speakers from other countries and that are not from Mexico?
I have come across a few, but the majority of the Spanish speakers that I meet are from here.
From here. Okay. That's awesome. Thank you all for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed listening to my friend Sabrina's language learning story. Let me know in the comment section below, what did you find the most interesting? ¿Tienes algo más que quieres compartir con mi audiencia?
Adios, mis amigos.
Adios, muchas gracias. I can't say this word. Audiencia. Okay, I'm not gonna say that.
Okay.
¿Tienes algo más que quieres decir?
I don't know what that means.
And let me know in the comment section what you found the best.
Has a few songs that I like.
Who's JR?
JR? What? That's the thing, yeah. I'll have to let you listen to it.
I don't know who that is. The Brady Bunch, the Brady Bunch, the Brady Bunch. That's the way we became the Brady Bunch. Da, da, da.